All right, let's dive into the incredible science of social connection. We're going to be drawing from Daniel Goleman's amazing work on social intelligence. And we're about to discover how every single conversation, every glance, is actually a biological event. You'll see that our brains are fundamentally designed to connect with others in ways you probably never even expected.
So here's our game plan for today. First, we'll jump into the invisible world of the emotional economy. Then we'll get a little nerdy and explore our social brain to see the hardware behind it all. After that, we'll decode what social intelligence really is. Look at the huge difference between treating people as an it versus you. And finally, wrap up with the social prescription for a healthier, happier life. So let's get started.
Okay, first up, the emotional economy. I want you to start thinking of every interaction you have with your partner, your barista, your boss, as a kind of transaction. But instead of trading money, the currency we're exchanging is feelings. And this exchange, well, it has a massive effect on us.
Let me ask you this, and I think you'll know the answer. Have you ever walked into a room feeling totally fine, but someone in there is just radiating stress or anger, and bam, you suddenly feel your own good mood just tank? Or, on the flip side, someone's infectious laughter just completely lifts your spirits?
Well, you're not imagining it. As Goleman says here, emotions are contagious. And this isn't just a cute phrase, it's a biological reality. When someone unloads on you, it has potent neurological consequences. Their emotions literally trigger the same exact circuits in your brain. It's wild. So how does this emotional virus spread? Well, our brains have two main pathways. Think of the low road as the super fast gut reaction highway. It's automatic. You see a friend in distress and you feel a pang of concern before you've even had a chance to think. Then there's the high road. That's the slower, more deliberate, scenic route, where our conscious mind kicks in and says, okay, hold on, what's actually happening here? Why do they feel that way? Truly smart social navigation is about knowing which road to take and when. All this emotional contagion is possible because of some seriously amazing wiring in our heads. And that brings us right to our next section, our social brain. We're going to look at the actual neuroscience of why we connect. So, Goleman uses this fantastic metaphor. Think of it like we all have a built-in neural Wi-Fi. It's this invisible network that's always on, constantly connecting us to the people around us, syncing up our moods, our feelings, and even our tiny physical movements without us ever realizing it.
And what's the tech powering this incredible neural Wi-Fi? Well, it's these amazing things called mirror neurons. These are specialized brain cells that are just mind-blowing. They fire not only when you do something, but also when you just watch someone else do it. They basically blur the line between you and me, letting us simulate another person's experience in our own mind.
Here's how it works in the real world. Super simple. Step 1. You see your friend break into a huge smile. Step 2. Instantly, the mirror neurons in your brain that are linked to smiling fire up as if you were the one smiling. And what's step 3? You actually feel a little spark of their joy. That's empathy, right there. It's not magic, it's just pure neuroscience.
Okay, so if we're all constantly swimming in this sea of shared emotions, thanks to our neural Wi-Fi, how do we get better at navigating it all? That's what this next section is about, decoding social intelligence. Because yes, it is a skill set you can actually learn. And this isn't some new agey concept. This idea has been around for over a century. Way back in 1920, a psychologist named Edward Thorndike was already talking about social intelligence. He argued that being able to handle relationships was absolutely essential for success, just as important as being book smart.
Now, Goleman breaks this all down into two big categories. On the left, you have social awareness. That's all about what we sense from other people, everything from gut-level empathy to accurately understanding what they're thinking. And on the right, you have social facility. That's what you do with all that information. It's about interacting smoothly, presenting yourself well, showing you care. But here's the most important thing to see on this slide. Every single one of these things is a skill you can practice and improve. All right, so now let's talk about what happens when we really put these skills into practice. This next section, from it to you, really gets to the core of what makes our relationships feel truly meaningful or just kind of empty. The philosopher Martin Buber gave us this really simple but profound way of looking at things. An I-it relationship is basically transactional. You see the other person as an object, a function, like the cashier who's just there to scan your groceries. It's detached.
But an I-you relationship, that's a real connection. That's when you see the other person as a whole, unique human being with their own feelings, hopes, and fears.
And get this isn't just a nice philosophical idea. Our brains are hardwired to need these IU connections. In fact, brain scans show that being treated like an it, being ignored, dismissed, or dehumanized, lights up the very same regions of the brain that process physical pain. So yeah, social pain is very, very real pain.
And if you take that I-it mentality to its most toxic extreme, you get what psychologists call the dark triad: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. They're all defined by a complete failure to see other people as a you. For them, others are just objects to be manipulated and used. It really brings home a crucial point. Empathy is what stops us from being cruel. And that leads us to our final, and honestly probably the most important section of them all, the social prescription. Because building up your social intelligence and creating those I-you relationships, it's not just a nice thing to do. It's absolutely essential for your physical health. The research here is just undeniable. It's not about how many friends you have on social media. It's about the quality of your real-life relationships. Having a few strong, supportive I-you connections is one of the single best predictors of a long, healthy, and happy life. It literally makes our bodies more resilient to stress. So how do you actually maintain these healthy relationships? Well, researchers have even figured out a kind of magic ratio. For any relationship to really thrive, with your partner, your kids, your close friends, you need to aim for about 5 positive interactions for every 1 negative interaction. Think of it like a bank account. You've got to keep making those positive deposits. And if you need one final, hard-hitting fact to take away with you today, let it be this. Study after study has shown that chronic loneliness is more dangerous to your long-term health than smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That just makes it crystal clear, doesn't it? Our social connections aren't a luxury. They are a biological necessity, plain and simple.
So, we'll leave you with this to chew on. We've seen that our brains are literally built for connection, that our relationships shape us right down to the cellular level. Knowing all that, what's one relationship in your life that you can intentionally work on strengthening this week? Who can you consciously shift from an I-it to a true I-you connection? It's definitely something to think about.